Question 11. So in this one it gives me a cube and a cuboid, and it gives me some of the measurements but not all of them, and it tells me where I actually need to end up with for my answer. So let's just start with the things that we know. This is a cube, so the volume of it is 100 centimeters cubed more than the volume of the cuboid. So what I can say is that the volume of this one is x times x times x, and what I know about the volume of this one I can write as 2 times 5 times x. I'm just going to tidy this one up to 10 times x, and I'm going to tidy this one up a little bit to x cubed. So I know that the cube is 100 centimeters more, so that must mean that the difference between them, so if I take the cube one, which is x cubed, and subtract the cuboid, which is just 10x, the difference between them has got to be 100, and look at that, I've ended up with where it wanted me to in the first place. This part of the question links with the previous bit, so all I'm going to do is I'm just going to start off by writing the equation they gave me, which was x cubed minus 10x equals 100. Now this is a trial and improvement question, so I'm going to pick a value to start at, and I don't know, I'm going to pick the value x equals 5. So when x equals 5 and I feed it into that equation, I get the value of 75 come out. And I need to make a comment on this is too small. And each time I need to be making these comments. So if x equals 5 is too small, my next guess sensibly has to be bigger. So let's try x equals 6, and I actually get the value 156, which this time is too big. So what I've now done is I've trapped the value of x somewhere between the integers 5 and 6. So next sensible place to start, let's have a look at what happens when x is 5.5. When x is 5.5, I get 111.375, which is too big. And again, this gives me a clue. It tells me that the answer now is somewhere in between 5, which was too small, and 5.5. So let's start coming down in denominations of 0.1. Let's try 5.4. When I try 5.4, I get 103.464, which again is too big. So we try now x equals 5.3. When I try x equals 5.3, I get the answer 95.877, which this time is too small. Now the value of x is trapped between 5.4 and 5.3. It wants the answer to one decimal place, so there are only two possible answers to this. It's either going to be 5.4 or it's going to be 5.3. So what I now do is what's called a test value. I'm going to try the value directly in the middle. So if I try x equals 5.35, I get the value 99.63, and then a few things after it, which is too small. Now I'm always looking to trap this thing between a small and a big, so I know that it's trapped somewhere between 5.35 and 5.4, and any number in between those two values, when rounded to one decimal place, always rounds up to 5.4. So my answer to this one is x equals 5.4.